always a great time to be here, a great time to be alive. Thank God. It's been an amazing week. Actually, it is Thanksgiving week, and I'm just excited. You know what it is. It's your boy Favor Obasi Ike, and I'm so excited and delighted to be with you today. I'm going to be going really crazy now on audio simulcasting. So I'm going to be going live on LinkedIn. I'm going to be going live on Wisdom. And I'm going to be going live on the podcast. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going live on Wisdom. I'm going live on LinkedIn, and I'm live here on the podcast. So it's going to be so exciting. If you want to know my LinkedIn, just look for Favor Obasi Ike, and you can be able to get in contact with me, and we can make it happen. So I'm going to start on LinkedIn. Here we go. We gotta get this working. So I gotta go to my profile and log in again because it's been a minute. Gmail. Hold on one second. Pinterest. All right, here we go. Welcome to Pinterest and SEO marketing. Welcome to this amazing live. We are live on the podcast, and we're also live on Wisdom, going in 3, 2, 1. So you are welcome once again to this amazing platform, this experience. I'm always excited to jump on here, especially to just talk about things that are happening, and start building relationships and things that we can start, doing with people and start getting to the point of really helping them build their market, build their audience, build whatever they're doing with their business. So today it's really exciting to be here just to give you some insights, both on LinkedIn, on Wisdom, and also on the podcast station, where we're going to be talking about how to use Pinterest marketing and what is Pinterest marketing, but more specifically, what is Pinterest SEO marketing? Because sometimes we're always wondering, what do we do with this information? How do we use Pinterest SEO marketing? So before I go any further, if you want to know more about what I'm talking about today, you can be able to check out Work and Play Entertainment on Google and check out the latest blog, the latest article that got out today, actually last night, and it's talking about Pinterest marketing strategies that make money for your business using SEO. So what is SEO? I'm sure you've heard about SEO, or you've probably heard about it, talked about it. You don't even know what it is, but you know something called SEO. But SEO means search engine optimization, right? And with search engine optimization, you're really focusing on optimizing, creating content, creating flow, creating things that are not going to leave someone more confused than when they found you. You want to be able to start creating content for your audience by understanding, how do I use Pinterest? Why am I using Pinterest? And what is Pinterest going to be doing for me as I'm building my business? Because sometimes we think about Pinterest and we're like, oh yeah, that's not for me. That's what other people need. I don't really use Pinterest. Maybe you'll say, I don't really know how to even start an account or know what to do with Pinterest when I'm on Pinterest. So it's like you've already closed the door so far that you thinking about opening that door again is like, why did I even bring up the discussion? Because you have become so focused on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, which I'm live on right now, TikTok, you're on all these platforms and you're still trying to figure out what am I supposed to do on these platforms. And I'm like, these platforms are great. That's why I'm there. That's why I'm here on Wisdom. That's why I'm doing this, to make sure that you have an understanding that when you are creating content, you don't need to use SEO on Pinterest alone. And this is why. Because when you use SEO, search engine optimization, on your website, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, on your Snapchat, on your WhatsApp, whatever you're doing, you have to start creating value, relevance, story building, storytelling, story development. Like, you can't just build a story without a backbone, without something that is going to keep you coming back. So you want to have something that is going to help someone get somewhere. And how do you do this? You do this by staying connected with the people who need you the most. If one person comes to you and says, hey, can you help me do this? You're not going to say, no, I'm not going to help you because I'm waiting for 10 more people. That's not good. That's not fair. That's not even professional. That's unethical. So you want to be able to serve everybody at your 100% level. Just like you give undivided attention to something that you're serious about, that's the same way you should give attention to something that you're serious about, which is your business. So your business starts to boom when you start creating room for quality conversations. You start creating room for engagement. You're creating room for questions, because if you don't answer any question, then what are you really doing with your questions? Are you really helping someone get somewhere with the question you're asking? Like in this room, in this talk, we're talking about what is Pinterest SEO marketing. So someone may be thinking, I don't even know what that even means. And you really want to know what it means. You really do. But the way you get to know about it, you can't really have a proof of concept, because I'll tell you what it is. You're going to write it down. You're going to feel like, okay, I know what that is. Moving on. Then you won't use it because that's the only thing that you understand, which is pretty much surface level, because you've not applied the concept and you've not built retention or built an intention to build attention. So your retention from your audience is just going to keep going down because you've not been able to show them why you want to be on this platform, why you want to talk to them, why they need to even like the post in the first place. So when you're using SEO, which is search engine optimization, you're telling people that you are here to create connections. You're here to create value. You're here to create an experience that people don't get to see daily. So when you're building something for someone, right, you have them in mind. When you have an idea and you're like, oh, that's a good idea. Can I use that idea to help someone else's day or give them some type of access to something new? Yeah, of course, I can do that. So what do? You now take that information and you run with it. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to do it. And because I'm doing it the right way, I'm now helping other people see what they're not seeing when they're by themselves. So when you tell them A plus B equals C or 1 plus 1 equals 2, they can get there themselves. But now when you tell them to do the square root of 2 and you're trying to figure out, okay, what should I do next? To someone who doesn't know how to use that square root, right? You want to know, how can I take it to that next level? It's another question after another question. You get square root of 2, you get your answer. Then you want to do something else to that number 2. And before you know it, you're answering questions, you're using different symbols, you're using different signs, different equations, different logics. Like, you become so logical that you forget the concept of what you're doing and just focus on getting it done. So that's really what you want to start doing here by focusing on what needs to be done. What needs to be done here is you're building awareness, you're building an interest, you're building a desire, and you're building an action plan. There's nobody that has ever had a successful business plan without an action plan in mind. You don't just launch something because you think it's nice. You launch something because you think that when you do launch the thing, you are going to create something called synergy. You're going to create something called relevance. You're going to create something called attention, which I talked about before. And SEO is one of those topics that people love to talk about or hear about or want to know more about, but they forget that they're not even doing it themselves as a best practice. Like, I don't have to remind you to brush your teeth in the morning or take a shower or have breakfast or work out. These are things that you naturally do. So as a business, you know that, I need to take care of this bill, I need to take care of this client, I need to take care of this service. Those are things that you don't need to be told to do. But with SEO, it's the opposite. It's like, I have to tell you to change your file name before you upload your video on YouTube, because if you don't change it, you can't change it anytime after you publish it, because that file name is now encrypted to an index code, which is going to be categorized by Google, and it's going to end up in the search engine, which I've just talked about. And now you've optimized it with the algorithm that exists. So that may sound like Greek. That may sound like I don't know what he just said. But the long and short of this story is that if you don't put the right words and match it with the right audience, you will not get the right feedback with the message that you had rightly for them. So you need to focus on breaking it down. Break down your plan. Break down your strategy. Don't say that, I got it all together. Now I can do this. Now I can, write whatever I want to write, without thinking about the person that you're writing to or the person you're writing for. Now, in this room, in this talk, in this live that I'm in, because I'm live on Wisdom and I'm also live on LinkedIn, and I published this article yesterday, and I decided to really break down these 5 questions I asked. And if you want to know where this article is, you can click the link in my profile or in the description, and you can be able to get all the links available, or you just type in Work and Play Entertainment on Google and you'll be able to find the website, and then there you can be able to find the article. And in this article, which is called Pinterest Marketing Strategies That Make Money for Your Business Using SEO, right? I decided to break down 5 questions, because before these 5 questions came up to mind, I had to think about who is asking these 5 questions and why are they asking these 5 questions. So if you notice in the article, I used only 2 options. There's the 5 W's and the 1 H, right? So I decided to use 2 out of them, 2 out of 5. I used what and I used how. So I used how and explained it in detail when you start to listen to the podcast, when you start to listen to the video that's on YouTube, when you start listening to the Pinterest that I added on there, because I gave you 5 websites that will help you with digital marketing today. Like 5 quick websites that you can start using today, and you'll start running and you'll be like, whoa, I didn't know that I could use this website. So all these things are exclusively given to you, but open-ended, whereby you can be able to use them and use them as well as you can, because if you don't use them, someone else will. And chances are that audience that you were both looking for, someone could find it before you because they were smarter than you. So you want to be able to use this and understand how to use Pinterest, how to use SEO, how to use marketing. I've been on Wisdom for a while, and this is my second talk. And the first talk I did, I was so excited about it, and I made sure I did it well, that when I'm coming back again, I want to come back with some value. I just don't want to show up and talk and just talk away. I want to be here for some time, because I also respect your time. And this time around, I said, before I even get here, I'm going to finish this article. When I post this article, publish it, which ended up from the editor's pick. The editor picked this article this morning. When I woke up, I was like, oh, wow, thank you, Jesus. This is amazing. Like, what? Me? How did this happen? It was put in the category of science and tech. So that just got me thinking, if the editor picked my article after submitting it and it got put in the science and tech field, that just tells me that I'm doing the right thing, because I know optimization is science. You have to understand what are the words, what's the phrasing, how do you use the characters. Even when you build a room here or a talk on Wisdom, it tells you up to 50 characters. If you put 51 characters, then it's not going to work. and you realize, oh, sorry, I need to change my wording, or I probably said something that was not too succinct. That's the same thing with SEO, search engine optimization. You're always going to keep changing it. So what you don't know you're doing, you're probably doing it without even noticing what you're doing. So that's why even on this app, I just want to bring some light to SEO, Pinterest. I don't hear much of that here on the app. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, connect with me, and join the stage. Just be part of the conversation. And it's going to be amazing because I'm here live on LinkedIn, and I'm also live here on Wisdom. So I used to do this before, where I go live in my Facebook group, and I also go live on Clubhouse, in the Clubhouse called Pinterest and SEO Marketing, which I'm the founder of. And I've been able to do this before, and I'm like, what can I do again that can still bring some value and still build some impact? Because the stories I hear when people say, oh, I tried this out, I did what you said, I checked out this website, oh my, look at what we have here. We have clicks, we have conversions, we have leads, we have sales. Everybody's happy. So for me, when someone tells me a story like that, I get excited because I'm like, what next? Who's going to tell me what happened next? How was your day? I always want to hear those things because I want to keep giving as much as I can give, because the way I'm giving, it's like the information is so free that you don't even value it anymore because it's free. So when you now have to pay for that information in like a coaching program, which we have available right now, and it's going to be enrollment open till December 15th. So if you go to the article, you will see the exact link there in the article. When you now Google Work and Play Entertainment, and you'll be able to find it there available to you, or just check the link in my Instagram bio to have the full access to it. So it's so exciting to see this. And I also connected my LinkedIn, here on Wisdom. So if you're live on LinkedIn, I'm live on Wisdom, it just makes sense. So I do things strategically, right? And I just don't do things because I'm excited about what I'm about to do. I get excited, of course, because I'm now nervous that how many people are going to join this room, how many people are going to be here talking to me, how many people need this information. And then that way I'm able to say, okay, this works. Because when I talk to our mailing list, when I send out emails, when I get responses, I'm like, okay, I'm helping someone. So that just makes me happy. And I'm understanding that everyone is at some place at some time in their life, and you can't force everyone to do everything at the same time. It's not possible unless you are really focusing on the need and specifying that need by answering a question that solves their problem. Then you're in business. If not, then you're still talking. So you want to be able to talk, and you want to back up that with action. So that's why I'm breaking this down for you. So there are 5 questions, right? And if you're just joining and listening to me for the first time, you are so welcome. You guys are so welcome to this talk, and I really appreciate your time. Honestly speaking, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate your time here. And these 5 questions that I decided to start off with, question 1 today is, what is Pinterest SEO marketing? So there are 5 questions I mentioned that are already in the article that I just talked about. And these are the 5 questions that I'm going to be bringing to Wisdom and LinkedIn Live. So I started off today with, what is Pinterest SEO marketing? The next questions are going to be, how do I learn Pinterest for marketing? That's a question I hear every single time. It's like, how do I learn? Okay, I got Google, I read this article, yeah. I understand, okay, blase, whatever you want to say. It's like, by the time you're done answering those questions that you were thinking of, you're like, okay, that's cool. What next? Now, the next thing that happens is that you end up in I'll call it a roadblock, because now you want to pivot. Now you want to succeed. Now you want to grow. Now you want to say, okay, I've learned everything I need, so let me take it to the next level. And then you try it, and then the first failure you get, you're like, nah, man, this is not for me. I'm not doing this. This is a waste of my time. Because you've not seen the results, so you're already like defeated. And that's a bad way to start, because when you are starting from scratch, when you're building a home from scratch, when you're starting a project from scratch, the end of the result is always better than the beginning. biblically, physically, if you work out, if you read, if you're smart, if you know what you're doing, eventually you'll get there. And the best thing is about this is that you need to trust the process. So why am I bringing this up? When you trust the process, I feel like this is a behind the articles section of the podcast. This is a behind the article or behind the articles, whichever way you want to put it. But why is this so important, and why am I bringing this up today? Because we want to try something so bad that when we try it and we get it, we're like, yeah, it worked. And then the next question is, what do I do next? And then when you do what you did next that you didn't do, then you now get better at it and you keep trying. But most people will say, oh, my website doesn't work, or my website is broken, or I don't know what to do with this website, or I have a domain and I don't have a website, or I have a domain and I have a website, but the website I have has never brought in even one person to my channel. So, and these are genuine problems. These are things that are happening. So I'm looking at it like, man, if I could just show you exactly what you're doing wrong and show you what exactly you need to do right, then you're gonna hit home every time you show up, because you're creating an omni-channel marketing system. You're creating awareness, you're building content, you're optimizing your content. Whatever I'm even talking to you about right now is content driven, because I didn't just show up to say, oh, I'm gonna come on Wisdom and talk about this on LinkedIn Live as well. I decided to say I have 5 topics and I want to start off with each and every one of them and break it down. So I've been here for about 23 minutes, so I'll be here till the top of the hour, but more likely till 4:45 p.m. Eastern. So if you have any questions, please just join the conversation and join the talk, and I'll be happy to connect with you. But more importantly, I want you to understand and go home with this information I'm giving you today, which is you can be able to make an impact and make your money by building your business using SEO. And what I said in the beginning of this article is this, and I'm just going to read it out to you guys till a certain point. Here it goes. If you are ready to attract people using Pinterest in marketing to inspire new potential customers and make a dynamic, long-lasting impression, that's a key word there, long-lasting impression, with a Pinterest marketing strategy, then you have come to the right place. You will be able to get tips in Pinterest marketing that will save you, and be very focused on this too, I'm about to say here. Actually, this 4 words, including the conjunction. You will be able to get tips in Pinterest marketing that will save you time and money daily. We all have 24 hours in a day, but how many of us spend those 24 hours wisely? Including the sleep that you have to have, including the eating, including the deadlines, including whatever you're doing. So if you want to save time and you want to save money, you want to do it in a way that you're not trading either or for either or and forgetting about the purpose why you even started in the first place. So Pinterest is a place where, if we're talking about time, in case you didn't know this, just some little backup or backstory for you that maybe does not know what Pinterest really is or how it really works, right? Is this. Pinterest, right? The half-life, which means if I post something today, 3.5 months from now, going forward, I'm still going to be able to build traction. And by this time next year, my post will still be relevant because I posted it during a season. Right now, everybody's posting about Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, by the way, in advance. And it's like you want to be part of a conversation. You want to be part of something that helps people just feel good, like have a good intention with a good, genuine mindset. And that way, you don't have to think about, oh, what did you mean? What's the connotation of that word? What does this say? Why are you dissecting it like this? It becomes so stressful that you even forget the actual conversation you were having in the first place. So the whole point of you saving time and saving money is very important, because the moment you start to save those two things on a daily basis, you will realize that when you're using Pinterest marketing and you're posting once every week at least, and that can be like, honestly speaking, I can challenge anyone and I want to see how this goes. It can be you today. You might not take the challenge. At the end of the day, it's up to you. But if you take 52 weeks in a year and post 52 times, at least once a week, and post genuinely, whether it's a Pinterest post, idea pin, whatever you want to call it, an article, a podcast once a week, whatever it is, a show, whatever it is, literally, make sure that if you're doing it 52 times a year, every single time you do it, you're saving more time and you're saving more money. Why? Because you want to be able to build attraction models. You want to be able to build things that can be able to help people come on board and really show their thing, the right way. So I can see Brittany here. This is the first time I'm having somebody on stage, so it's a pleasure connecting with you today. How are you?
I am well. Am I saying it right? Obisi?
Obasi Ike.
Obasi. Okay, my bad. Ike, my bad, honey. So
You
Nigerian,
good?
right?
Mm-hmm. How are you?
Okay, I am well. I'm well. My first cousin was here, but I've been to Lagos. So look, my dialect might be off now, so forgive me. But I'm speaking my love language with SEO King.
Hey, let's go. And shout out to Dio as well. She's Nigerian, so she made this happen. A huge shout out to her. So just wanted to give her flowers for sure. Yeah. So SEO, tell me what you know and what you need to know, or what you want to know.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you what I know. I don't really need to know anymore. I'm transferring from an e-commerce business. So I actually just sold my e-commerce business on Saturday. After 6 years, I built it up. I had a nice 5-figure offer for my business. And I use search engine optimization, Pinterest, Facebook ads, and as well as live sales to actually get my business to a point where I was able to broker it after 5 years with the e-com. Now, here's the secret, y'all. I didn't start really using these strategies until the pandemic hit, because before, when I was in retail, all of my sales came from direct sales, right? So like they were at an event, they came to one of my retail locations, but search engine optimization changed the game, because when people got home, what were they doing? They were Googling black on this, especially with all the George Floyd stuff that happened, and it was just amazing. So if I was to just add a little bit of value to your stage, if you don't mind, I don't offer SEO services, but set up your Google My Business page. So if you're an entrepreneur, the first thing that I would say to optimize not only your business and your website is to set up a Google My Business page. Make sure your information is accurate. Even if you do not have a physical location, you can do a headquarter profile. So you don't have to put your profile on there, but when people are going to Google, they are hot leads. They're actually looking for something. The same thing with Pinterest. Hot leads. They are looking for something, right? So you want to make sure that your Google My Business profile is up to date, that it has your website information in there. When you're using, just to optimize a little bit even further, when you're creating content for Facebook, for Instagram, you want to make sure, what I did to optimize even further was I took all the questions that people were asking me about my business, and just for you guys to know, I had an African fashion business. I specialized in waist beads. I used waist beads to pay my rent for about 2.5 years as I was exiting my first marriage. And I actually, all the questions they had, like what size did they go up to? Where are they made? They were made in Ghana. I started taking down an inventory of questions people were asking me. And then I also looked up on Google Trends what things were trending in my area. And I actually started creating content using the trends that I found on Google and the trends I found on Google and the questions that people were asking me. And out of that content, in my local area in St. Louis, I actually ranked higher and I beat out all of my competition. And a year later, I broke up my website out and retired out of the e-commerce business. And now I'm coaching full time. So that's just my little spiel. But search engine optimization, y'all, will change the game.
Wow. First of all, major respect to you, Brittany. What you paid 2.5 years selling beat, like that's a story that when someone hears, they're like, what am I doing with my time? Because I just talked about it. You're saving time and money. And what you just did is you saved money, you saved time, you optimized, you put an action plan, and more importantly, you were able to see the results because people were responding back based on the feedback you were getting upon the questions you were answering. So that was spot on. And I just love what you mentioned about Google My Business. So I want to ask you something real quick, because when you talk about SEO, I go really deep. So you have connected your Google My Business. Have you also connected these two other platforms, Google Analytics and Google Search Console?
I have. So, like, just like when you buy like your domains, like if you own your domain and you get your website. So I had Google Search Console. I will be honest, I never used it to its fullest capacity, but absolutely Google Analytics to my website. Not only to my website, but like if you guys are using customizable links, like in Linktree on Instagram, the link in your bio, you can put your Google Analytics as well into that. It'll actually give you analytics, but you can actually integrate those into it. So I will say, you know what, I never leveraged it to its full to the fullest capacity. So that's something that I left money on the table. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you left a lot of money on the table, Brittany. Low key. I'm dead serious. I'm dead ass, because I want to be very like transparent with you and also very natural in giving you this response, because when I'm saying it, it's like it happened to me too. So it's not like it happened to you as well. It's happened to a lot of people. They'll just connect it and that's it. Like earlier today, I had a meeting with a client, an onboarding client, and I asked her, have you, the same thing I just asked you, just one question, have you connected your Google Search Console? She was like, I don't know, I think I did. And she said she did, and we connected it, and it was already connected by the web developer that made it. But when we now open the Search Console, because it's a property that you own, you know, when you have a website, that's your intellectual property, that's your domain, you're paying for it. You know, it appreciates every year. So your website, I treat websites like land, like actual land. So if I have a website, what am I putting on that land, and how is it appreciating? By how people are finding me and how keywords are connecting me to the people that are looking for my business or my service. So when you look at Google Search Console and you open it and the first thing you see is welcome to Google Search Console, that means you have not used it, because you need to optimize your content within the Search Console, because that Search Console is telling you how many people are clicking on your link when they find you on Google, without you having to worry about how many links are existing on Google. So that's why I wanted to highlight that to you. And there's so much we can go deeper into, which is what I have in the program that I've been able to launch, the Pinterest and SEO Marketing Coaching Program. And within those 4 different live coaching programs, we're going to touch on Pinterest and SEO. We're going to audit your website and really go deep into that conversation, because when you don't do these things now, and this is a Q4, in January, people are going to be looking for new things to do, New Year resolution. Oh, I want to do this. People are going to still spend money at some point, and they'll be spending things that they want to spend on. But if you are focusing as a business to strategize your business and put it on Pinterest, put it on Google, know what your Search Console is saying, applying that to Pinterest marketing, and then looking at your Search Console insights, which they even give you. I'm here on live. I'm live on LinkedIn right now, and I'm on Wisdom. But I know that if a month from now, someone's going to look for Pinterest marketing, find the article, find the video, find the podcast, and find the link. When there's a stat that says that 80% of the people who read on Google, they find the articles, they find what they're looking for, but only 20% click through them. And think about the 1% conversion you're having. On Pinterest, you could have 5% conversion. So, Brittany, I just wanted to let you know this, because once you said that, analytics is great, but you can also use your Search Console in your analytics, and it can change your business for forever. So I'm so happy that you're able to take those first steps, because a lot of people need to get there, and I'm so happy that you've been able to take those bold steps. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you so much, and thank you for allowing me to come up and chat with you. I definitely have to connect with you. I have a mastermind. I would love for you to
Yeah, you're most welcome. Anytime, anytime. And yeah, please reach out to me. Send me a message on LinkedIn or on Instagram, or just reach out to me, and or even back channel me on Clubhouse if you're there, and I'll be happy to respond back to you so we can talk about it and make it happen, because I want to teach other people so they can teach other people. And when people do that, they get better at what they're doing, because it starts to make a lot of sense for the people listening and the people learning. Because you may not know how to use Pinterest today, but 3 months from now, you'll be like, thank God I started a Pinterest business account, because I applied SEO, and every day someone online is searching for something. Guys, if you didn't know this, there are 3.5 billion searches a day on Google. And how many times does Google change their algorithm in a day? Take a guess. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? It's actually 8. So 8 times in a day, Google changes their algorithm, which means that if you posted something at 6 a.m. and your competitor posted at 7 a.m. and your other competitor posted at 12 p.m., this is just 101. The person that posted first, if that person's content had value, then it's going to do better than the person who posted at 12. But here's a caveat, because it's never always going to be like that. It's always going to be competitive, because if the person that, let's say, started at 7 now went back at 3 p.m. to optimize something, now he's back in first place because he's been able to refresh his content, and within the 8 times Google has been able to realign their algorithm, you have been able to get ahead of the curve, because you've added a YouTube video that you probably did at 12 o'clock. You probably added an infographic. You probably added something that's going to lead them somewhere with a call to action, because a lot of people forget about a call to action, and they're like, yeah, it's on Google, but nobody clicked on it because you didn't say anything. That's why people on YouTube, when you're watching them on YouTube, the first thing and the last thing they say is, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, share. They do that because that's an algorithm practice. That is also something that you're doing. When you say something on YouTube, you're creating auto-generated captions, and those captions are going to be indexed by Google or YouTube or Pinterest. So when you start thinking outside the box and start thinking within that framework of allowing someone to find you by the questions that you answer, then you start to really help a lot of people get to a lot of places at the same time. So it takes a while to get there, but please don't forget that better done is always better without being done. And if you're doing something better, that means that you've done it once, you've done it again, and you've done it to a point where you're so good at it that anybody that comes next to you or near you, you're always going to be better than them. And why are you better than them? Because you took time, you spent money, you probably did a class, you did a few courses, you did a few things, you were into some groups, you were able to do some networking. Like, it takes you to get to some place to experience the place you're coming from. Because when you open your eyes and you're like, wow, I did this, I lost a lot of money doing this, instead I should have created time to spend this. And I'm just giving you based on things I hear, case studies I've been able to see. For example, because I always want to give context, I just don't want to talk about it in theory. In context, someone asked me some days back, actually some months back, that's actually it's been a while. The person asked me, he was like, hey, I'm spending Facebook ads, and this Facebook ads are doing well, but I don't get the leads I'm looking for, but it's still doing well, but I feel like I can do better. And I'm like, that word comes up again. I'm like, okay, yeah, there's always a chance to do better. There's always room for improvement. I'm always learning, so I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I'm going to keep learning, and I want to learn every day, because you learn things new every day and you get better at it. See, I'm using the word better again. So he asked me, how can I get my advertising game up? And I told him, simple. If I spend $5 a day on a Pinterest ad, so in a month, that's what? That's $150, right? So if I spend $5 a day on Pinterest on an ad to a specific audience, right? And you spend that same $5 a day on Facebook and Instagram, if you want, I will still win because, this is what I told him, because as a competitor, as far as like competitor analysis, SEO, breaking it down, because the moment you stop running a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, guess what? It goes back to the archive. It goes back to where it's always started. It goes back to, okay, it's been posted. Unless you've reposted it on a blog or someone has been featured or you've used alt text in your Instagram caption, that's a whole discussion for another day in the advanced setting. And you want to be able to reach out to people outside your platform, which means, how can I get somebody outside my website to come to my website? How can I meet someone outside my Instagram account to get to my Instagram account? I could be on a podcast and I just say my Instagram name and someone finds me there. So there's so many ways to get there, but people forget that the optimization part is missing. People build a website. We build websites for clients as well. And whenever I ask, hey, send your brand guide, send this so that we can be able to know what your plans are. And then the next question I ask is, have you thought about SEO? And most times they're like, nope. And it's fine. And they ask me what it is, and then I break it down a little bit, and they're like, oh yeah, I know what that means. Everybody wants to rank on Google, but no one wants to take the time to get there. It's just weird. So I've been able to see success in building algorithm and building a standard by creating an experience that lasts long. I talked about a long-lasting impression, right? That long-lasting impression that you have for people is what, whenever they're thinking about something, they think about you first. Why? Because you were able to help them get somewhere without you forcing them. No one wants to be forced to do anything. If you have the choice to do whatever you want. No one's going to force you, tell you what to do. You can't do this. You're at free will. But here's the thing. The moment you understand that your time is valuable and your money is also valuable, because you'll be spending it on family, spending it on yourself, spending it on investments, spending it on doing things that make you happy. You want to work hard and you want to play hard. You want to have a good time. You want to feel good. Like, these are things, who doesn't want to have, a good time in the beach or just chilling in the sun or just taking your dog on a walk? Like, things that are really comfortable for you to just be like, it was a good day. Everybody wants to feel that way, and you need to, you deserve to. But here's the thing. You're going to spend time, and you are definitely going to spend money on an ad and go around in circles saying, oh yeah, I made this, I made that, but you've not nurtured them. You've not taken them to your channel. You've not taken them to your website. You're not taking them anywhere valuable enough for them to stay. So that example I gave you about $5 on Pinterest and $5 on Facebook, the reason why I said that is because on Facebook and Instagram, you run an ad and that ad is completely done, right? Your budget is complete. And you're like, okay, we met our KPI, we met our campaign objectives, and this and that, and you're good, right? The next thing you notice, right, is this. Me that ran an ad on Pinterest, right? There are two sections on Pinterest. If you've never run an ad before, this is what it looks like, or this is what it sounds like. When you run an ad on Pinterest, there are two things that you earn. And I said one of them is earn. It's paid and it's earned. So if you run an ad and it's paid, you have to earn the paid ad. And what does a paid ad mean? Just like you run an ad on Google, you run an ad on YouTube. If somebody clicks on your ad, you've spent money. You've probably spent 30 cents on the ad. You probably spent 90 cents on a click. Whatever the KPI or whatever your ROAS is, it's up to you. And those are things that you want to start thinking about before you start spending money. So before I even get on a platform like Pinterest to run an ad, I'm going to build a community. What am I going to do? I'm going to create a profile, start a nice profile, have a video cover, and it's Pinterest. I just love Pinterest because if you have a YouTube channel, you can have a video, which is definitely what it is for, but your cover image is a banner. Now on Pinterest, you can have a video cover, which means if somebody randomly stumbles into your Pinterest account, the first thing they see is a visual at the top. They press, click for audio, they listen to your 30-second reel, or they watch it and they feel like, oh, this is nice. I didn't know they do this. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I love that color. She looks so good in that dress. Oh, this is what I want to do. I can't believe I've been missing out. Now you've built awareness. You've not even sold anything, right? But you've built awareness. And the only reason why you've built awareness is back to what I've been saying. SEO, search engine optimization. How do you use your content correctly? How do you take your market from point A to B and say in Q1 we were able to make a 7% increase, in Q4 we were able to make a 23% increase. Those numbers are going to be validated by what you did before. So if you did 4 posts in a month and you published 4 accounts and said, okay, I'm going to publish 4 articles and publish them and they're good to go, right? By the end of the month, you should have gotten a like, a comment, a share, a click. I'm not even talking about sales. A discussion, a DM, something should have happened out of what you did, because if someone sees it on Monday and thinks about it on Tuesday and then reaches out to you on Wednesday and then gets on a call on Thursday and then probably spends time with their family on Friday, and then on Saturday they're like, oh yeah, Monday is coming, I need to take care of this right now, and they get in contact with you and maybe have a call. By Sunday they're feeling like, oh, this is great, I'm looking forward to the new week. Now that one post that you did has taken a week to convert. It could take a second to convert. Just depends on your capacity and depends on how much bandwidth you can carry and manage and also stretch. So the whole reason for me coming here to tell you about Pinterest SEO marketing is not to just come and tell you, here's how to use Pinterest and here's why you need Pinterest. You can use Pinterest without using Pinterest. This is what I mean. You can literally create a Pinterest account, connect your website, connect your Instagram, connect your YouTube, connect your Etsy if you have an Etsy account. If you have a Shopify account, you can become a verified merchant account holder. And there are 2 types of checks. There's a blue check and there's a red check. A blue check means that you're a merchant, which means that you have something to sell, products. If you have a red check, it means that you are a creator. That means you have created content that has been validated, but you don't need to have either of those checks to have an impact. So it's not like, oh, I need to have a blue check or a green check. Those things don't matter. It's just validating your success. But your success starts from what you start with. And what do you start with? An idea. What do you start with? You start with a plan. What do you start with? You start with a campaign, an objective, a plan, a focus, a purpose. Those are things that you want to talk about. Earlier today, I was having an amazing conversation with my friends on Clubhouse, and people were talking about, holiday season and how you can be able to use the holiday season well. Shout out to Marciano and his amazing club in the exclusive networking club. And we were having a conversation with the other friends that I have on there. And I was also telling them that, hey, this year is going to be different. I'm going to be dealing with dates instead of dealing with slashing of prices, because when you talk about value, there's a psychology behind it. When someone pays for something and they get back more value than what they paid for, they feel appreciated. And that's what you need to do. People, whether you're paying someone or not, you need to appreciate them for who they are, period, point blank. And you don't want to use money as a way to appreciate them without valuing them in the first place. So valuing someone is so important to creating value over time, because at some point you are going to need someone to take you from point A to B, whether it's a helping hand, whether it's a question answered, whatever it is, you need to be focused on that. And I told them that this is what it is, because I keep explaining it, and now I've come to the point where I need to follow up. Because now if I follow up and you read it and you do it, I'm like, wow, you actually took an initiative to do it. But you need to stay consistent. You have 52 weeks in a year. If you have 52 blog posts and maybe 1 or 2 pictures a week to post out, think about how far you can go. Because when you answer questions that people are asking, you're using SEO to leverage your audience and to leverage your competition. I was reading it was an infographic, and I read it, and it was on Pinterest, because I spend a lot of time on Pinterest. Right now I'm on LinkedIn Live, and I'm also on Wisdom, and it's the live podcast that you're also experiencing right now. The name of the podcast is called We Don't Play, and you're going to see it on all 14 platforms available to you. So feel free to listen to this podcast, to the episodes prior, to the amazing interviews we've had, and just stay in touch, because information is power, and you want to start using this information to the best of your ability and start creating content for people who need what you're talking about and what you're doing. So for me, I decided to now look at what's going on, and I like to check in a lot with Pinterest. And I saw an infographic, like I mentioned, and the infographic was so shocking. The person that has the account, I think it was in French, so I was able to see it in English as well. So I was able to really understand what was going on, because sometimes it's like, what are you saying? So you have to really like understand it, but because you have to really think about expanding your mindset. A little fun fact: I started learning French back in 4th grade, but when you don't speak it that much, you don't get to practice and perfect it if it's not your first language. So when I still see it, I can understand. So I saw the infographic on Pinterest, right? And I saw some amazing facts. And I'm gonna stop by with these facts, and I'll go to my closing point, because I've been here for about 52 minutes and I'm about to go on Clubhouse to speak on something else, on something that you can be able to use for your business and for your growth. So I really spend some time to really be on the platform on social audio and really leave an impact while I'm also on LinkedIn Live. So these are the 3 stats that really surprised me, and I was like, wow, this is really why I have a passion for this. 65% of companies expect to increase their SEO budget. That's 65%. Then 90% of businesses find value in automated analysis of specific page alterations to increase rankings. That's a whole discussion for another day. Then 20%, and this is the sad part, which I really have major passion for, and I just pray God will help me to make people understand the value of what SEO is for their business. 20%, only 20% of businesses, and this is a fact, which is it's sad to say, but it is a fact. Only 20% of businesses are currently using SEO technology platforms. So let me break it down. Technology platforms with SEO is an investment as a business. So if you know how to use a platform to its full extent, then you can use that platform and say, okay, I'm going to spend $100 on this in a month. In that 1 month, I can be able to do 30 articles, right? 30 articles is once a day. And I'm just trying to give you some really good 4-hour weeks that you can apply, because sometimes we think we have 24 hours, but you're like, every time is going, and time is luxury. Like, you don't want to spend that without getting something back, in resource. It's just a principle. So if you think about the technology that you're investing in, right? Whether it's your Google Search Console or your Google Analytics or your Google Lighthouse or your Google, whatever it is you want to call it, your Gmail, you're investing something in it as a workspace to start building intention for people who are going to find you and find your content. So if you think about the 20% of businesses that are using SEO currently, what about the 80% of people who are not using SEO technology? And there's been a big boost in online activity between 2019, 2020, and 2021 because of, the pandemic and everybody with the business trying to get online. It's been a huge shift. And now next year, what's going to be running, if you guys don't catch this wave now, I don't know when you're going to catch it. So 2022 is going to be full of SEO automation. What does that mean? You want to be able to have technology as a business, as an investment, as an asset, as an inventory that you can apply to your strategy and start using your digital assets. And what are digital assets? Your pictures, your infographics, your videos, your carousels, your PDFs, your freebies, your discounts, whatever it is that you have ready-made for your audience. You need to make sure that your audience is 100% in agreement with what you're doing. That's 1. 2, you want to be able to allow people to feel connected to you, because the moment you start realizing, like right now, I'm live on LinkedIn and I'm also live on Wisdom. I'm doing things disruptively because I've done a Clubhouse and Facebook before simulcast. Some people have done other rooms with other spaces, and it's great, but I feel like your intention matters. So when I'm here for 56 minutes, and I appreciate each and every one of you that has gotten a chance to listen and join the conversation, it has been a journey. And sometimes people want to get to that top of the mountain so fast that they forget how hard it took them to get them there. So this is what I'm going to leave you with, because I want to close it off and I want to respect everyone's time. I've been here for almost to the top of the hour, and I want to make sure that I drive this point home. So if you're just joining me, the topic of this room is, what is Pinterest SEO marketing? And I just released an article on the We Don't Play podcast, which you're listening to as an extension of Work and Play Entertainment, which you can Google, and you can find the article that was published today that says Pinterest marketing strategies that make money for your business using SEO. And there are 5 questions I answered in this article. What is Pinterest SEO marketing? How do I learn Pinterest for marketing? How do you do SEO on Pinterest? How to maximize exposure on Pinterest? And how to promote your website on Pinterest. So those are 5 questions I answered in this article, which you can find. And you can also click the link in my bio on Instagram, on wherever you are. You can be on Twitter. You can be able to find this information, or just Google Work and Play Entertainment, or just type in Pinterest Marketing Course 2021 and you'll be able to see the website there for you. And it's exciting to be here and just give you this information, because when I'm answering the question about saving time, saving money, using content to optimize, I didn't post any content. The last time I posted an article was back in September. But this article is so beefed up that I was like, now I have 4 more articles to run down and answer another set of 5 questions, which is going to make it about 20 to 25 questions and 4 to 5 articles that can be repurposed, because I've been able to do research. So all I'm telling you guys to do is make sure that whatever you're doing in your business, whatever you're doing with your time, save money. If there's nothing you got from this talk today, save time, save money. Use Pinterest, use your social media, even if you don't have a Pinterest account, your YouTube channel, your Twitter account, your LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn Live right now. So whatever you're using, use it to the full potential, and learn that your time is valuable and people's time are also valuable. And if you can add value to their time, then you're adding value to their life. So with that said, thank you all for listening, for joining me. I'm going to be back here again. I'm going to try and come here again tomorrow, God willing, because I have 5 questions to answer, which are in the article. You can be able to surf and check it out. There is a coaching program that's open till December 15th, and I'm so excited to take you guys into a huge whirlwind of information that you can take for 90 days and challenge yourself. And let's see how we can get you up to those rankings that you believe you should be on, because you deserve to be on them. So thank you for joining me on Wisdom. Thank you for joining me on LinkedIn Live. I appreciate you guys. I'm about to start another room on Clubhouse in the Pinterest and SEO Marketing Club. I love you guys. God bless you, and take care. Bye for now.